Hello and welcome all for the fourth video lecture of Marketing Research, Semester 5, Module 1. And today's topic is classification of research. So classification of research, what are the various different classification of research? For this, that is for classification of research, we shall look from four different dimensions. The first one is the purpose of doing research. Why are we doing the research? What is the purpose or what is the intention of doing research? The second one is the intended use of research. What is the research used for or what will it be used for? The third one is how it treats time, that is the time dimension of the research. And lastly, the research, that is data collection techniques that is used in the research, whether it is quantitative, qualitative. So these are basically the four different ways of classifying research. Under each type of classification, we have various different categories of doing research. So when we are classifying the research, the first type we have seen the purpose of doing research. Under this, we have three main categories or classification or research types. The first one is the exploratory research, then the descriptive research, and thirdly, the explanatory or the causal research. Exploratory research basically tries to explore new ideas or new things about a particular phenomenon. Descriptive research tries to describe a particular situation or something, an environment that is existing in the market. And explanatory research tells us why certain things are happening. The details of this or explanation will cover in the coming slides. On the basis of uses of research, research is classified into basic research. It is also known as pure or fundamental research. And secondly, applied research. Basic research is basically done to enhance knowledge pool without any particular thing where it can be applied to. It is just used to increase the knowledge pool of humans. And applied research is done at a particular situation where research is applied. For instance, suppose there in a company there is certain problem which the management has identified. Now this problem has to be solved, data has to be collected, and data collected, analyzed, and this way when we do a research on a particular problem, a specific problem, it becomes an applied research. Then again, under applied research we have different classification. First one, action research. Second one, R&D, that is research and development. Third one, impact assessment research, and lastly, evaluation research. Then the third type of classification is the time dimension in research, that is how the research treat times, that is how the time is treated, whether all the variables are data from all the variables is taken at one time itself from various different sections, or only one subject is studied over a long time, that is longitudinal research. So in cross-sectional research, as I've said, different subjects or different respondents are studied at the same time. So at the same time they are studied, different respondents are studied at the same time, that is cross-sectional research. A longitudinal research is when the same subject or the same respondent is studied over a period of time. Under longitudinal research we have different types. One, cohort study or cohort analysis, then we may have time series, and lastly panel study. The fourth way of classification of research is based upon the type of data or the data collection techniques that are used in the research. Under this we have two main classifications. The first one is quantitative techniques and the other one is qualitative techniques. So Quantitative, as the name suggests, quantification of certain data whenever it is done. That is, these data, this type of research is known as quantitative techniques. But there are certain things which cannot be quantified, like for example, taste, smell of certain things. So this cannot be quantified. Maybe attitude of people, morale of people, which cannot be quantified easily. These are qualitative in nature, and hence these type of studies are known as qualitative studies. So based upon what type of research techniques you are using here, that is data collection techniques you are using, this research can be classified as either quantitative techniques or qualitative techniques. So we shall continue with the first classification of research, that is the purpose of doing research. Now, if we ask someone, why are you conducting a research? If we ask a student or some researcher, he may have a variety of responses. And these responses may be like, my boss told me to do so, it was my class assignment, or I was just curious about it. So these might be the various responses that we may get for when we ask, why are you conducting a research? So this is basically nothing but the purpose of study or purpose of research. However, these all purposes, whatever purposes are there with any researcher, any student or any research scholar, they can be grouped under three main categories. So these categories or groups are: one, either they are exploring a new topic, they are trying to gain familiarity about a particular topic, or they are describing a social phenomenon, or it may be they are explaining the why concept of a phenomenon. That is, they want to explain why things are happening, is they want to find out the cause and effect relationship about certain things. So these are the three groups among which any research can be classified, or the purpose of doing research can be classified. So studies sometimes may have multiple purposes, they may not have only one purpose. Say for instance, there might be some people who are doing a research which might be both exploratory in this aspect, or it might be descriptive also. Both it can be exploratory plus descriptive. So this may be the case, they are exploring also a new topic and they are also trying to describe certain things. So if this is happening, then it is nothing but explore multiple purposes. But remember, one of these purpose will always dominate the other one. So one will be the main purpose and other will be the sub purpose, we can say, of the research. So if these are the three categories of doing, so if these are the three categories of in which the purpose of doing research can be classified, that is exploring a new topic, describing a social phenomenon, and explaining why things occur. If these are the things, then basically these are the three sub categories under this classification, that is exploratory research, descriptive research, and explanatory research. So based upon the purpose of doing research, research can be classified as either exploratory, descriptive, or explanatory research. So classification of research we have seen: exploratory, descriptive, or explanatory. So we shall move towards details of these research. So the first type of research that we are going to study under this classification is basically exploratory research. So what is exploratory research? Remember, exploratory research is also known as formulative research. These are two synonyms: exploratory research or formulative research, one and the same. In exploratory research, what may happen is you are trying to explore a new topic. Remember, you are trying to explore a new topic or issue in order to learn more about it or to gain familiarity with the topic. Exploratory research is defined as a research used to investigate a problem which is not clear and it is not clearly defined. It is conducted to have a better understanding of the existing problem, but will not provide conclusive results. For such research, a researcher starts with a general idea and uses this research as a medium to identify issues that can be the focus of further research. So basically what it does is it gives you certain ideas about a particular problem which is generally new and you do not know much about it, and you want to gain familiarity about the topic. And also what happens is this provides us direction of any further study or research that is required. An important aspect here is that the researcher should be willing to change his or her direction subject to the revaluation of new data or insight. See, sometimes what may happen is you may get new insights or new information when you are studying a new problem. So you should be ready, you should be flexible enough to change the course of your research in exploratory research. Such a research is usually carried out when the research is set at a primary or preliminary stage. It is often referred to as grounded theory approach or interpretive research, as it used to answer questions like what, why, and how. For example, consider a scenario where a juice shop owner feels that increasing the variety of juices will enable him to increase his customer base or number of customers that are visiting. However, he is not sure and needs more information. The owner intends to carry out an exploratory research to find out, and hence decides to do an exploratory research to find out if expanding or increasing the variety of juices that he is offering to the customers will also result in increasing the number of customers, and he wants to gain better understanding about this. So in order to do this, he has to conduct an exploratory research. You may be exploring a new topic sometimes. Under exploratory research, management may have discovered a general problem. So management generally discovers a general problem, but research is needed to gain better understanding of the problems. Then exploratory research is generally the first step which researchers use. Why first step? Is because you are unsure about the problem itself and the problem definition. So you want to gain better understanding about the problem, and in such a scenario, exploratory research becomes the first stage in doing research. Subsequent researches are always expected. Remember, subsequent studies or researches, where I have already told that they are expected. And what happens is the results of exploratory research are not usually useful for decision making by themselves. They cannot be used for decision making because it is just a preliminary stage, and it gives you a direction for further researches, but they can provide significant insight into a situation. It normally answers questions like why, how, when something occurs. So these are the questions that exploratory research answers, that is why a certain thing is happening sometimes, or how it happens and when it happens, but these are not definitive and it cannot be used for decision making purpose. It is just, it gives you a slight idea about why this may be happening, or how this may be happening, or when this may be happening. Then the goals of exploratory research. The first one, as I've told, the most important goal of exploratory research is to gain familiarity with the topic. Yeah, generally the topic is new, and the management sometimes wants to gain familiarity with the topic or familiarity with the basic facts. So to gain familiarity with the basic facts, exploratory research is used. Then to develop well-grounded picture of the situation, again to you want to know how is the situation there before you start a research. So exploratory research can be used to develop tentative theories. Tentative theories, these are not final theories, these are not something which are supported by solid evidences, but you may have some tentative theories or new ideas or new hypotheses which can be generated through exploratory research. determine the feasibility for conducting further research. Is there a need, first of all, to conduct further research? Can the further research enhance our knowledge? So these type of things can be answered by exploratory research. Formulate questions and refine issues for more systematic inquiry. So it formulates questions, it refines the issues, it gives us more idea by giving us basic facts information, and gives us further direction of our study. Develop techniques and a sense of direction of future research, as I've said. So it gives us a direction for future research. The second type of this research under purpose of study or purpose of research is descriptive research. Descriptive research is also known as statistical research. Under this, if we see, what happens is the descriptive research generally describes characteristics of a population. It describes the characteristics of a population. So it describes or it tells us more about the population. Like for example, what is their age, what is their gender, who are your customers, what is your customer profile, what is their occupation. So these kind of things can be answered by descriptive research. So basically they are describing certain things, and that is why descriptive research. Descriptive research seeks to determine the answers to questions like who, what, when, where, and how. So these questions are answered by descriptive research. Although the data of descriptive research is factual, it is accurate and systematic, the research cannot describe what caused a situation. Remember, this is very important. Why? Because you will get facts from this research, you will get accurate and systematic information. But why this particular situation happened, or what is the cause of this particular situation, that is cause. What is the cause? This cannot be identified by exploratory research. Cause, because this can be identified only when you do a causal research, which is our third type. We'll study in the next slide. Then the example of this type of researches are your labor force surveys. For example, if you want to do a research about whether there is job satisfaction among your employees, then that becomes your labor force service survey. Population census is an example of descriptive research. There you might population census, for example, Janaganana. So what happens in this case is people come to your home, they try to get information about you, how many people stay in your house, then what is the occupation of people, what is your annual income, how many girls, how many boys, how many male, how many female, then how many kids are there below the age of maybe 5 years. So all this information they are getting. So they are trying to get descriptive information, hence descriptive research, and that is nothing but population census. Educational census, what government does many times, are examples of descriptive research. Now what are the goals of descriptive research? If you want to identify the goals of descriptive research, the first and foremost goal of descriptive research is to describe the situation. So what is the present situation? So that has to be described in terms of its characteristics. That is, it provides an accurate profile of a group. Profiling is done in this, that is customer profile, employee profile, and all these type of profiles can be generated through descriptive data. It gives us a verbal or numerical picture or in terms of percentage generally of the situation. For example, we may say that these many in a shop, 70% of the people who visited, or 70% of the respondents who customers who visited a particular shop were women, 30% were men. So this, when you are describing, then it becomes nothing but descriptive research. It presents a background information basically, and it can be used for further researches. It creates a set of categories, or classifies the information like male, female, educated, uneducated, then people from urban area and people from suburban area, people having income above this level, people having income below this level, what are the people purchasing in the shop, whether they are purchasing high value items, low value items. So this kind of classification when you are doing, or you are creating categories, this is again descriptive in nature. Then we have clarify. It clarifies sequence or set of stages. That is, what happens is it clarifies the sequence or set of the stages. Is one of the goal of descriptive research. The sequence of research and the set of stages that is there. For example, customer life cycle, you can say. In customer life cycle, where is he? What is his age? Whether he is a child, whether he is a young adult, whether he is an adult, middle-aged person. So in this stage of his life cycle, where is he, or in this sequence where exactly he or she is. So this, it clarifies through descriptive data. And also, as I've told you, it mainly deals with things like who, what, when, where, and how. So these are things that it mainly tells us. Who has come, who has purchased, what has he purchased, when did he purchase, where did he purchase, how many did he purchase. So all this data when you collect about a particular during a particular research, this is nothing but descriptive data. But there is one important question the research does not answer, descriptive research, that is, it does not answers the why aspect of research. Why aspect of research. Now, why did he purchase from there only? Why did he purchase those that many? Why did he purchase now only? So all this kind of information cannot be got in descriptive research. To understand the why aspect, we have the third classification, that is explanatory or causal research. So explanatory or causal research, when we encounter an issue that is already known and have a description about it. So we know that a situation has occurred and it there is a description about it also available with us, that we know that in a particular shop 70% of men visit, they purchase a particular item only during a particular daytime or maybe a particular month. We see that in a shopping mall there is too much of rush on a particular day or particular time. So we know that this description is already available, but why this is happening? If you want to know, if you want to get information about the why aspect of things, then it is nothing but explanatory research. It basically deals with the cause and effect situation. So it is subdivided in causal research basically. So it falls in cause and effect relationship, to identify cause and effect relationship. Further, it can be classified into laboratory experiment. You can conduct this experiment in laboratory, or you can also conduct in field, that is on field experiment also you can conduct. Explanatory research has certain goals. The first very important foremost goal is to determine which of the several explanations are best. See, you may have several explanations about why certain thing is happening. This might have come to you through exploratory research, but which is the best explanation out of all this? This you can gather more information. See, after doing an exploratory research, you can do an explanatory research. First do an exploratory research, you get certain idea, then you can do an explanatory research, that is the causal research. Then determine the accuracy of a theory, test a theory's prediction and principle. So you can determine whether a theory is accurate or no. If someone has proposed a theory, you can do a laboratory experiment or a field experiment and get or garner data from the field or laboratory and test whether the theory's prediction, whatever it is predicting, or if there is a principle, then you can test it. You can advance knowledge about underlying process. So what happens is the knowledge about a certain thing, you can improve it. Suppose the shopping mall example which I was taking. Now the shopping mall knows that there is too much of rush at a particular time every day maybe. So why this is happening, if you get to know, or maybe there are long shopping queues or billing queues in the shopping mall at a particular time, if you know why this is happening, this problem can be solved. Also, more knowledge, that is you are getting more knowledge, the management can become more wiser by doing this kind of research, so that in future also if these kind of problems happen, similar type of problems happen, the management can take effective decisions. Build and elaborate a theory. You can develop your own theory, you can elaborate your own theory. See, elaboration of theory you can develop by descriptive research also, but if you want to elaborate your theory, you can add the why aspect also, along with what, how, when. You can add the why aspect also, and you can elaborate your theory, elaborate and enrich a theory's prediction which is already existing. Extend the theory or principle to new areas, new issues, new topics. You can extend, if the principle or theory is applied in a particular area, you can apply that in some other areas also of practice. So that also can happen. And then you can provide evidence to support or refute. You can either support a theory, or you can go against the theory if you get from the data that you are collecting of explanatory research. So you can either support an existing theory, or you can go against a certain theory also. Then you can test a theory's predictions or principles. This is already actually covered point. So these are some of the this goals of explanatory research. For today's topic, we shall end today itself, and in the further coming video we can discuss about other types of classification.